What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play ICO. In the last episode, well, safe to say we didn't make it. Yorda is all the way up there, and we are down here, and the bridge is gone, so we're not even getting out of here without her, but, well, we never intended to do that in the first place. We got to get Yorda back, but how are we going to do that, you might ask? Well, first things first, we need to get off these floating cages, so let's do that. Okay, so I've said multiple times throughout this game that I do not believe that ICO is a puzzle game, or sorry, a platformer as much as it is a puzzle game. It is indeed a platformer now, though, because without Yorda, we really don't have to worry about getting her to pretty much anywhere. We just need to make jumps, and that's, well, honestly, easier said than done. This part can be a little precarious, so we're going to be as careful as we can possibly be in lining ICO up before making the jumps, but luckily there are two spots on each of these cages that he can grab on, so even if you don't make it to the high spot, he'll at least grab the lower spot. But okay, good. We're out from over the gigantic drop into the ocean. That is good at the very least. We still got a long ways to go. First of all, we need to get back into the castle, and how exactly are we going to do that? Well, don't go that way. That is just a waterfall off into nothing. We are going to head this way and just sort of follow the ravine for a moment. But yeah, without Yorda in our way, for both better and for worse, we got to make our own way, and it's not going to be the easiest thing to do. Now, this room right here, this is, I wouldn't say the most infuriating room, but this is definitely the room where your platforming abilities with ICO are going to be tested the most. So let's start by pulling this lever. You want to do this first, trust me. Pull this lever, and it's going to drop the chain. But we are going to be dealing with some interesting jumps in this room that are going to make our life a living hell if we don't do them exactly. I have definitely spent more time in this room than in any singular room in the game. That's not to say that it's, like, impossible or anything. It certainly isn't. It's just, yeah, not the easiest thing in the world. So did you know that you can drag crates in the water? Yeah, there's nothing in the game that would have told you that you could do this up to this point, but now you can. Just hold on to it, drag it this way. We're going to use this to get up on this ladder. So there we go. And up at the top of this is going to be another lever that we can pull, and this one is going to open the floodgate, if you will. Is that the right term for that, a floodgate? I mean, it's not really stopping water. It's more so just filtering things, I suppose. So maybe that's not the correct, maybe just a filter is the correct term, or just a gate, I suppose. I guess if it went lower, it could be a floodgate, like the stakes go all the way into the ground or something, but I don't freaking know. I'm not going to dwell on that any further. All right, so, and apparently I let go of the crate somehow. Don't know how that worked. I didn't ever let go of circle in the process of doing that, but I guess the game was just like, nope, your camera has swiveled away, now you must let go. So bring this all the way to the chain. And mind you, this is the easy part. Okay, we haven't gotten to the annoying part yet. Now we're just gonna, oh, ICO, come on, buddy. Jump to the chain. There you go. We're just gonna climb this all the way up. There we go. It's a bit of a long ways, but we'll get there eventually. Come on, ICO. I know we're gonna make this. You're gonna be fine. Trust me. Now, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to push this all the way across like so. And that is going to get these gears turning. So believe it or not, what we want to do now is actually just jump off this entire thing. I know that seems crazy. Just do it. Let go. Back into the water we go. And now that this is all turning, we can actually head up onto the rocky land over here. And this is where things kind of get annoying. Okay, so grab onto this. And it's going to take us all the way up. And we're going to drop. Now, hop up here, and we're going to do some pipe climbing. Just hold over the entire way. You don't need to, like, get cute with the drops or the jumps or anything like that. You'll eventually make it. That's not the annoying part. Although I will say, if you fall at any point during this, you will have to go right back up that wheel that we just took a ride up just a second ago. And that extends all the way past this point. So now this thing right here, this is a little tricky to jump on, especially if you have terrible depth perception like I do. So don't miss that. Although, even though it's a circular or rounded platform, it's treated like it's a flat one, so I guess that's pretty good. This is the part, though, that always gets me, is these chain jumps that we're about to do. So you're going to want to climb this pole pretty much as high as you can go to where the pipe starts to bend, and then jump off. See how I still grabbed the very bottom of that? Yeah, it's pretty darn close. Okay, now instead of going high up on the chain, we're going to want to basically go about right there. And we're going to start swinging. Now, if ICO can get full swings out of this, then you know that you're doing this right. If he's getting stopped for whatever reason, he's not going to make it. So grab onto the edge. There you go. And this jump is a little bit easier to make because we're not having to grab on at as high of a point. So for this one, well, actually, we still need to get to that platform there. So there we go. Okay. If you fall on that chain, fall on any of those points, you will drop in the water, and you have to go all the way back around, and that is really annoying. And I misunderstood how the chains worked on that my first playthrough through this game several times and kept dropping, and it was incredibly frustrating because for not one point during the entire game are you like punished unless you for grabbing pretty much any point on the chain except for the very tippy top when making your swings. But that is the one point where the game's like, no, you need to actually know how momentum works, which, you know, would have made sense from the get-go, but the fact that it's inconsistent is the part that really threw me off back then. So make sure you're careful. But we've made it. That is, I think, the worst room in this entire game. And from here on out, things should actually be pretty simple. Okay, so now let's just keep going and watch your step as you go through here, because you're going to get to some sheer drops that are not too far away. Do we really have to have rain to punctuate this entire thing, too? I mean, we already know we're sad. Does it really need to get sadder? Yes, it does. It's okay. We'll be fine. Just follow this and then make that leap. I don't like that camera change there because it implies that you need to suddenly change direction on the sticks. You don't. You're fine. Just hold in the direction you were initially facing, and you'll be good. Now drop, as precarious as that might be. Now you might be tempted to drop there, but I would highly recommend not doing that all the way down. Make sure you make it all the way to the triple ledge here. And actually, I am going to do... Well, let's just do it like that. Yeah, let's not get cute about this. Oh, easy, ICO. Now jump across. There we go. Nice little platform just underneath it to catch you in the event you do something stupid. We're so close. Almost back in the castle. All right, now across the bridge we go. Make sure not to fall. Bridge, pipes, they're pipes. Which really, again, speaks to kind of the architecture of this entire thing. Like these gigantic welded metal pipes in what is essentially an ancient castle. It's very strange. I mean, you could make the argument it's like an aqueduct of some sort, but even those were usually made out of stonework. Like the fact that it's made out of welded iron or steel is incredible. Genuinely. I would assume iron, but... which is probably why they're as rusted as they are. Well, granted, they're only rusted on the outside, so who's really to say? I don't know. Is the queen okay with drinking rusty-ass water? Probably not. All right, so I am going to take this chain down very carefully. Very carefully. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn, and we're going to swing, and we're going to make it all the way to that platform. So just kind of get that momentum going, and there you go. So you're never going to want to descend down the immediately most obvious path as you walk along this thing. You're always going to want to take it just a little bit further. I believe if we go right, it's going to dead end, so I'm going to take a left. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure this is the way to go. Yep, it is, because there is a gap we have to jump there, so we are good. All right, so now for this part, we're going to want to actually go up rather than down. And over on this track... is a thing we can pull because it has another chain on it. There. Okay, leave that there. And now we're going to just need to make the jump from here, which it does line you up, which is good. Or, oh, my stomach was dropping on that. My goodness, that was scary. Okay, now we're going to want to go back this way because if you notice on the bottom right, there is a ladder. That is the telltale sign that this is the correct direction. You go down a little bit, but I do believe this is actually a dead end here. Yes, it is. Okay, so We're actually going to go up, and we're going to go once again to the left, so counterclockwise around the room. And this room may seem familiar to you if you have a pretty good memory, because we've actually been here before. We have and we haven't. We haven't ever actually like walked through this area, but this is an area we have seen before. And it's going to make a whole lot more sense once we finally get to the very bottom. But we're getting close. Okay, now here's another ladder. This is the one that you're going to want to take down. And there's two ways you can do this. You can jump backwards. I think jumping backwards is a little too sketchy, though. So I'm probably... Oh, I didn't mean to hit X there. Oh, gosh. That was an accident. Okay, you might be asking yourself, hey, Levi, how did you manage to accidentally press X when triangle is, like, literally in the opposite side of the button, like, orientation on the PS3 controller? That's a very good question. It's because triangle and X are 90% of your functions in this game, so I tend to hold my thumb vertically over the pad, so, like, kind of the middle point of my thumb is what's over X, while the actual tip of my thumb is over triangle, and I kind of just roll between the two, and I meant to roll into triangle, and I accidentally rolled backwards and hit X, and it was it was a fat finger. To be completely honest, it's not like I wasn't anywhere near the button. But also, man, that was like just above the survivable height that ICO can make a land from and not actually die. Gosh dang it, I had to redo that whole room all over again. Okay, we are now at the bottom, and thank goodness for that. So, really quickly, we are now going to head backwards. Oh, you know, before we do that, though, I probably should have drawn attention to where we were at, but I was too busy making excuses for myself. Do you recognize this room? No? Again, we saw this place a long time ago. We didn't see the upper part of it, but we did see this room. Does it bring back any memories at all? Well, maybe it will here in a second. Okay, walked into this area. You might have already seen a little part of it. Yes, there's a boat here. This is the cave that we first came in on with the soldiers at the beginning of the game. Yeah, that is actually the elevator room, if you can believe it. But how are we going to get that? Get those statues set apart, and how are we going to make it into that elevator? Well, the very same way the soldiers did it before. That's right. We have ourselves the Queen's Sword, as it is known. This is a very powerful weapon that is not just used for, well, basically having the same power that Yorda has, but it's also incredibly powerful. This is a weapon that is going to absolutely one-shot every single shadow monster in the game. And you might go, oh, that's very nifty. When are we going to apply that? Oh, soon enough. Soon enough. Okay, let's head on through. And guys, as this elevator begins to ascend, I am actually going to have to tell you that that is going to be it for this episode of Let's Play ICO. In the next episode, everybody, it's the finale. That's right. This is the end of the game. We are already there in such a short amount of time, but I really want to kind of contain all of the rest of the events of this game in just that episode. So if you could all bear with me, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this episode very, very much. And I will see you all in the next one.